everyone, and welcome to Monday Musings with me, Michelle Kaida. I'm founder and CEO of fitmama Fitness, and today is a really funny one to actually film because normally I come in on a Monday and I'm quite, I like to think, enthusiastic and really, go getter. And it's Monday, the 1st of June. Two things. One, I love it when the first of the month is on a Monday. I love it because for me, I run my weeks. Monday is day one in my week. So when it's day one of the week of the month, I absolutely love it. So for me, this is a really good, clean start. I also love June because for me anyway, June, September and November are months where nothing is interrupting the flow. So I don't have big school holidays, I don't have big events on. These seem to be clean 30-day months that I can set goals on day one and just go for it and do them. So I often find that these are the really productive months of the year. June because you're trying to get everything done before you go into the summer holiday period. September because it's the return after the summer holiday period and everyone is back to work and everyone is really harvesting, it feels like that. And November because again everyone's getting everything done and dusted before you go into the time of December, which is traditionally quite a busy time regardless of your faith and religion. Normally is a time where there's a significant holiday period, so people try to get November and make it a really productive month. So I normally love coming into June, I really do. Why is this year any different? This year for me has been absolutely insane. It really has. And I hate to use the words crazy and insane and nuts because I really don't want to overuse them for people who need to use those words in terms of mental health reasons or I don't want to be slighting anyone who has mental health issues, but I can't think of anything else that I can say. I cannot believe that we've only had 5 months of this year so far. I can't believe it. It feels like every month in 2020 has been the equivalent of a year. It really feels like so much has happened, so much has changed, so much has shifted everything for everybody that I know and that I am in touch with and touch points with, that it's hard to believe that we have only had 5 months of the year. I find it really tough today sitting here mulling over what is it that's actually happened and what have we got going forward. Very, very difficult few days if you've been watching the news and you're seeing what's going on predominantly in North America, USA specifically, and I see that there's protests now kicking off or reverberating around other countries like England, Scotland, the UK in general. I'm not sure what's happening in France and Spain, but certainly you're starting to see other countries peacefully protesting or indeed violently demonstrating against racial discrimination. And it's a really easy topic for me to discuss because I like to face these things head on. You can see around you if you're taking note of anything social media based. You can see around you the pain and the suffering and the frustration and the anger that so many people are now releasing and saying enough is enough. We're fed up. We're done with this. That is on the back of difficult months of COVID-19 where globally we have been in various different stages of isolation and lockdown and confinement. It really is a time where individually you wake up and you think, what is going to happen today? And it's really, it's really difficult when you're in this moment in time, this particular moment in historical time, to think, how do I get up and and move forward today? How do I do this? And it all comes down to resilience. It really does. And it comes down to really taking care of you as an individual and to think, what can I do as an individual today to get through today successfully? And who is immediately in my immediate circle? Members of my family, members of my friends, flatmates, work colleagues. Who's immediately in my circle that I also need to be aware of? And I honestly, for me, think that that is where I am today on the 1st of June. I think that hunkering down during COVID has been, it's been an interesting time because for me, I didn't feel it financially, yes, but I didn't feel it emotionally, curtailing anything in my life because I live overseas with my son. I'm a single mum, so I don't have extended family around me where all of a sudden that's stripped from me. My son doesn't have grandparents on his doorstep. He doesn't have aunties and uncles around. I don't have the friends network that I had back in Scotland. So it's less of an impact for him and I because we didn't have that huge network anyway, and we certainly didn't rely on any family members helping out. So for me, the virus and the confinement result hasn't impacted as hard on an emotional and psychological level. On a financial level, it has been a crucifixion. So it has has been the most painful period of time again. So financially, oh, yeah, there's a complete impact there, and obviously that's going to impact on day-to-day living. So for sure, that's the case. The small crumb of comfort that I can take is that there are a lot of people in the exact same boat. So I am not out there sailing a little boat by myself. Everyone is together on this one. So I feel a small crumb of comfort with that. With regard to picking yourself up and moving forward, what can we do? What is available for us to figure out how do I navigate life going forward? And here is my own take on it and what I want to share with you today in my musings. I started an edX course, which is an online platform, and it has some of the top universities. I'm going to say the United States because I don't actually recall other universities that are on there. But the course that I'm doing is from the University of Berkeley, and it's called The Science of Happiness. And I was really keen to do this course, not because I'm unhappy myself, but more because in my line of work, I do work with, and I want to work with, parents, but predominantly mothers, who go through this stage of postpartum confusion. So that postpartum confusion could be on the spectrum between postpartum baby blues right through to postpartum depression. And for me, it's really important to try and understand the science behind happiness, which is, what parts of the brain affect your ability to trigger a happy or joyful moment, and what can we do as individuals to try to achieve happiness daily in our lives, and what does that happiness mean? So I've been doing this course online and I found it completely fascinating, really, really interesting. And I take notes on everything. I have a journal, and this journal doubles up as an actual journal where I am writing my thoughts, feelings, views, and everything like that. And it also acts as a school thing. So I write notes on the course, and then I put little sticky notes on just um, to keep these pages, because I want to go back to them and figure out, what do I need to do with this to take this forward? Do I have anything that I need to add? Do I have anything that I want to reread? Okay, so these, what I've got from the course that I'm doing, one of the main things is, and I'm going to try and find it, Happiness, and there's a nice little chart that they do, and they talk about, what can we do to become happy? But there's a nice little triangle that they have, and they have meaning at the top, happiness, and pleasure. And I guess all three have to be working so that you can then find some form of happiness. Now, the pursuit of happiness, and I've written this down, I'm going to read it out to you. The pursuit of happiness can entail struggle, sacrifice, even pain, which is not what you would immediately think of when you're thinking about happiness. Happiness is never simply a function of good feeling, of what puts a smile on our face, but rather of living good lives, lives that will almost certainly include a good deal of pain. It's difficult to correlate that, I understand that. And then the quote from Aristotle, happiness is a life lived according to virtue. Happiness is a life lived according to virtue. Happiness takes an incredible amount of work, discipline, and devotion, and most people, in the end, are simply not up to the task. A happy life and a meaningful life, okay? Happy people satisfy their wants and needs, but that seems largely irrelevant to a meaningful life. Therefore, health, wealth, and ease in life were all related to happiness, but not meaning. Happiness involves being focused on the present, whereas meaningfulness involves thinking more about the past, present, and future, and the relationship between them. In addition, happiness was seen as fleeting, while meaningfulness seemed to last longer. Meaningfulness, and this is trying to then evolve your thinking from, instead of trying to be happy, I want to have a meaningful life. Okay, this is where this comes from. Meaningfulness is derived from giving to other people. Happiness comes from what they give to you. Happiness was connected more to the benefits one receives from social relationships, especially friendships, while meaningfulness was related to what one gives to others. And I thought that was a mind-blown statement. Meaningful lives involve stress and challenges. Higher levels of worry, stress, and anxiety were linked to higher meaningfulness but lower happiness, which suggests that engaging in challenging or difficult situations that are beyond oneself or one's pleasures promotes meaningfulness but not happiness. Happiness does not mean having all your personal needs met, always feeling satisfied with life, feeling pleasure all the time, and never feeling negative emotions. Here are the benefits of happiness. Okay, it leads to bursts of creativity, and I've written 6 benefits. Number 1, happiness protects our hearts. Number 2, happiness strengthens your immune system. Number 3, happiness combats stress. Number 4, happy people have fewer aches and pains. Number 5, happiness combats disease and disability. Number 6, happiness lengthens our lives. Key words that I'd like you to think about as we go into June: gratitude, kindness, compassion, generosity, cooperation, mindfulness, forgiveness. Working on your happiness takes practice. It's like physically working out. I want you to think about 3 good things. 10 minutes every day. Just spend some time yourself and write down these 3 things. This doesn't need to be huge life-changing things, but give each a title. Give as much detail as possible. Why did you feel good and happy with one of these 3 things, and how do you feel now? This fosters gratitude. And one of the questions that we were posed to in the course was, if you have moments of joy in every single day, This will accumulate your feeling of feeling happiness and joy and meaningfulness. And what can you do then to figure out what these little pieces of joy are? And I've put think microdosing joy. So, happiness, from what I gather, is something that you will feel from time to time during the day. It's not a lasting feeling, it's a feeling. Just like when sometimes you'll feel sad or frustrated or angry or depressed or worried. These are fleeting things. Depression is not. Let me make that correction. When I say depressed, I mean feeling low in that particular moment. Depression is a different topic. So if you can have all of these almost negative things or things that are not so happy and look at the other side and say, okay, well, how do I spark joy and happiness and gratitude and compassion and generosity? How do I do that? And I took from it that you can microdose. You can start to microdose yourself with tiny little things every day. And I'll tell you what happened. I had to then, one of the exercises, and I'll try and find it now, one of the exercises was to um, think about things that made you happy. What are the things that make you happy? And make a list. So my task and ask for you today is sit down and write a list. What are the things that make you happy? Because if you can find a list of things and you can create a list of things that make you happy, then it'll be easier for you to microdose on these things every day. And I'll tell you, I really struggled to make my list because a lot of what I do as a single mom and as somebody running a business is task-based things. I'm constantly doing things, and especially in confinement, where I never seem to stop cooking food, washing dishes, tidying up the house. I mean, it just never ended. Where could you find joy in that? There's no happiness in that. Well, I don't find it anyway. Cooking, maybe some other people do, but so I really struggled to write my list of things I find fun and make me happy. And that's a real eye opener because if I want to microdose every day on joy and happiness, what am I doing that on? So think about it and write it down and then actively go and find these things. So I like hugs. I like intimate moments with a significant partner. So I don't have a significant partner, so maybe I need to find one so that I can then inject that into my life. I like talking with friends, so I need to find a group of friends who also like to talk and who are happy with Zoom or House Party or WhatsApp or Telegram or face to face, whatever they want to do. I like active living, so I quite like going for walks. I quite like going for a stroll. I quite like being near water. I'm Scottish. I was born and raised on an island, and speak to any Scot, they need to be near water. They need to hear water. They need to feel it. They need to see it. They need to have it around them. I've never met a Scot yet who doesn't want to be near water. Normally it's seawater that they need, so they need the salt and they need that smell. But a lake will be fine. We need to have access to that. It's almost like that brings us joy, and it just gives that little bit of comfort. Very difficult times for everyone just now. Financially, emotionally, especially if you've got children, it's difficult to know what to expose them to and how to um, not overwhelm them with everything. Really do the exercise of finding these small items of joy that you can have. And I think as well, seeing your life in the stage of just 24 hours. What do I need to do over the next 24 hours just to get through the 24 hours? I think is probably a good idea just now as well. You can look at your day ahead and you can say, well, what do I have planned for today? And do I have time for 10-minute meditation, a 10-minute workout, and a 10-minute walk? And that's 30 minutes. Do I have time for that? Do I have time to sit with my child and play? with them, doing whatever they want to do for 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Is there a song that we all want to listen to that we can put on and just chill out or dance to or whatever it may be? Um, Take your life in the next 24 hours and see what happens in the next 24 hours. Make your plan for the next 24 and so on. Everyone is changing just now. There's huge changes going on between schools returning back, people without jobs, now unemployment, stress and worry about paying bills. Um, so many people have died. It's so sad what is happening, and I really feel that to get through this, you need to look within and just see what can I do to make sure that I can get through with a meaningful day and to be as happy as I can be today. And remember that happiness doesn't mean you're going around with a smile on your face. It could simply be that today was a good day, I got through today. They all, the reports that come out, they all say that working out and exercise does raise your endorphins. Yesterday, I was not in any zone at all to do anything. I put headphones on, I loaded up a podcast first time in 3 months, and I went out for a really nice big long hour walk. And I honestly walked at snail's pace. I walked so slow. I got back and then I recorded a 10-minute workout for my clients. And then I spent the rest of the day, milling about and just taking care of myself. And that's really what you need to be doing just now. What do I need to focus on today to get me through today? Nourish your body with the correct food and drink. Make sure you give a little bit of activity to your body, whether it's a slow walk, a workout indoors, a workout outdoors, something like that. And give your mind a little bit of rest and recovery as well. That's my advice, and that's my Monday musings. It's rather doom and gloom, or it sounds it's rather doom and gloom, but to be honest with you, sometimes we need that. There's no need for every week to be bouncing and encouraging, and there's a case of saying, read the room. And reading the room today, I've read the room over the last weekend and the last, week, and I don't feel today it's appropriate to come on and be like, great, new month, new start, let's go. I just don't feel it. I don't feel it from my peers. I don't feel it from my clients. I don't feel it from my own family network. So I'm reading the room, and that's what I'm reading. I'm reading that people are at this moment in time a little bit like, what is going on? And it's totally understandable. To give you a little bit of inspiration, you've still got 7 months of this year for things to completely pivot. Completely. Don't lose faith that this year is a write-off at this stage. It has been incredibly challenging for everybody I know. But don't write off the rest of the year. There are still things that we can achieve privately, publicly, in our businesses, in our families. There are still things that we can do. So take the walk forward, take the step forward, keep your head up and keep moving on, because tomorrow could be the best day of your life. You don't know. And I don't know. So don't give up hope that this year has just been completely written off. Let's look forward and say, okay, let me make small changes, or let me not make any changes, but let me just live every 24 hours and make sure that I can microdose on joy as much as possible. If you need anything at all, please reach out, and I look forward to speaking to more clients this month to find out how things are going. Good luck if your children are back to school this week, and let's stay strong.